I've got a special guest here, and Thursdays it's all about cars with Big Boy Trev. The hashtag car culture, and of course on Facebook you can follow the show Cars with Big Boy Trev, and on Twitter TreySticksF1. Trev, I did everything for you. Everything.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. We made it here. You look amazing. You
Thank
look like
you.
the first song that I played for the Record Rumble. Did you hear it?
Yes, I did, and I loved it.
Da, 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 da. You look like the president. He's got these. You need to tell me where you get these shirts.
Well, I know people who know people who know people who
Yeah.
can make good shirts. So, thanks so much. My stylist is called Willis.
Yeah.
He does an amazing job trying to just give me a look and feel.
Right.
So, plenty of this coming your way as well.
Fantastic. And another friend of yours
Yes.
is going to be joining us on today's interview. It is the CEO of Kibo Motorcycles. It's going to be a good chat
Yes.
in a couple of minutes.
Correct.
So it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. Talking about mobility, sustainable mobility in Africa. And he's doing an amazing job building bikes in Kenya, creating jobs. And that's the kind of conversation we want to promote on radio for Thursday, CBBT.
Very nice. I saw a tweet here by Obed San, and he was talking about how much he is a super fan of the product. So we're going to get into that in a moment. We're going to get into one of the conversations of the day. Make sure you're streaming, tag a friend, any other petrol heads that you know. I'm sure they're already Trev's friends, but it's fine. Or we can get the family getting bigger. We're talking about the top 5 SUVs to consider in 2021.
Oh, yeah. That's an interesting topic. Kenyans do love SUVs.
Right.
And they're extremely popular. As you can see on our roads, SUVs are a status symbol, all right? And many people buy SUVs for all sorts of reasons, but mainly it's about the image it portrays. So big, bulky, comfortable, it shows presence and shows the kind of character you are. So my top 5 picks right now that are very popular across Kenya, I'll start with the most popular, in my view. Number 5. Toyota Land Cruiser VX. Now, many people have seen this car on the road.
Right.
They love it because it's got presence. It's actually a big vehicle. This vehicle has been in production for close to 75 years. All right? 75 years of the Land Cruiser family.
That's a long time.
It is, and it's due for a change. Actually, mid this year, there's going to be a brand new model. Not a revamp, not a change of face, but it's going to be a brand new model that will correspond with the needs of the 21st century person. So plenty of stuff. And the reason why people love it, it's got amazing capabilities off-road. It can go anywhere, literally. It's a car that's built for the off-road. Of course, you have a very powerful engine, two engines, one petrol, one diesel. Plenty of power, plenty of torque, and of course, when you step inside, then that's where people love it. It's plush, it's got leather, it's got electric seats. When you press the start button, it pulsates and just creates that growl, that je ne sais quoi that I keep on talking about. So it's an amazing vehicle, and people love it. And it's a vehicle that many of our politicians and people in business do love it because of that ability for it to last in the African context.
Very nice. And which one is the next contender?
Nissan Patrol. This is a rival. This is like, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. This is very close, like really close. The Nissan Patrol, equally a vehicle that has been in existence for quite a long time, 60 years plus. A lot of heritage. Loved in Dubai and the Middle East. In fact, fun fact, in Dubai, the Nissan Patrol is much more popular as compared to the Toyota VX. And the reason is the brand new model, the current model, not brand new, has a different construction as compared to the Land Cruiser. So it's got a unibody design. The Land Cruiser has a box-on ladder. Too much Greek, but basically the Patrol has a more car-like feel. It doesn't feel like you're driving a big SUV.
Right.
So it feels like a big car. Very nice, very stable, and it only comes in petrol. Petrol.
Gotcha.
Imagine 5.6 liters, 400 horsepower. That's a lot of power. And it is smooth as hell. Very comfortable. You've got an amazing sound system, courtesy of Infinity Sound. It is a vehicle to reckon with. And I've seen right now the past 4 or 5 years, many Kenyans are embracing this particular Patrol. But the older generation, it's called the Safari, that people loved, that can go to Marsabit, whatever you are, you can go there. Again, very popular with off-road community. So a vehicle that many Kenyans do love.
Wow. The driving experience, if you compare the two.
Personally, I'd love the Patrol because I'm more of a on-road biased vehicle. So I need a vehicle that can handle itself.
Right.
You don't feel the weight of the car on the steering wheel. For the VX, it's a bit heavy.
Wow, you sound for a second there. You sounded like you were talking about a lady. I need that it can handle itself. Like,
yes,
do what you do.
Yes,
do what you do and do it well.
Correct.
I like that. Number 3,
a Range Rover. The Range Rover. It's the only vehicle in the world apart from the S class that starts with the letters the. there's no other.
Right.
And the tagline is above and beyond.
Above and beyond.
Above and beyond. It's been in existence for 40 years now.
Right.
Going to 50 now, actually, 1971. It's a vehicle that was started by Land Rover, the parent company, as a way of getting into the luxury off-road sort of category. In the 70s, they were the basic Jeep Willys kind of vehicle. So Jeep Willys were those World War II vehicles that soldiers used to go on and, rough and tumble. And then there was a Land Rover, which was similar. But they wanted something different, something that somebody can jump into the farm, go, do their thing, and still go in town and buy groceries and enjoy long rides. So that particular model came out 1971, and they were able to develop quite an amazing vehicle. Range Rover has been in existence now for 50 years. And I remember it has changed hands quite a number of times. So from BMW to Ford, and now it's part of the Jaguar Land Rover family. So there's a lot of improvement across. And the best that I do love, right, it's a current model. It's called the L405. I was privileged enough to go for the international launch roughly about 8 years ago.
8 years ago?
8 years ago in Morocco. And I can tell you, I had so much fun. The people who are there, they know how much fun they had. It's got an amazing sound system by Meridian, 16 speakers, 825 watts of power. The sound on that car, the sound system. I'm big on sound.
You're all the time.
I'm telling you, you enjoy music in that car. The power. You've got all sorts of engine derivatives from diesel, more economical versions, the more powerful 5-liter V8 supercharged with over 550 horsepower. Now that, if you love power, then that is the car for you. And then also, for those who love the finer things in life, you do have the autobiography. You can even have it custom made at the rear with, a drinks cabinet, if you like hunting and things like that. So it's very bougie.
That's a lot, but there's people who like that.
Yes.
Like bigger, better. There's nothing like extravagance.
Correct.
The more you can personalize it, for your identity, I mean, the better.
And it costs an arm and a leg. It's expensive. If you're buying it brand new, anywhere between 20 and 30 million Kenya shillings. If you're feeling like you've saved enough.
I like that you added on the Kenya shillings.
Yes, Kenya shillings. But if you're buying it on the used car market, anywhere between 8 to 10 million, depending on where you source it.
Nice.
So it's a nice derivative.
Sounds like a good birthday gift.
Yes,
Yeah.
Considering my birthday is in a couple of days'
You're
time.
an April baby.
Yes.
Are you throwing hints?
Inch Cape, if you're listening. I love the Range Rover Sport and Range Rover SVO autobiography. So make a plan.
Very nice. Who else is on that list?
Now, we got Germany. Germans love their cars a lot. So the Porsche Cayenne. Porsche. There's a way they pronounce it. Porsche.
And how do people pronounce it in Nairobi?
Porsche. But it's Porsche. That's German. Now, the Cayenne is an on-road biased SUV. When I say on-road, it's more tailored towards driving on tarmac rather than going off-road, but it can do a little bit of off-road.
Right.
Now, it's been in existence since 2003 till now, and they make an amazing vehicle. It is part of the Volkswagen family. So the chassis, the platform, basically a lot of the engineering is done in conjunction with the Volkswagen family. So you have the likes of the Audi Q7, all right? You have the Bentley Bentayga, which you're going to talk about later, and now this particular vehicle. Now, it's a 5-seater. So basically, it's a 5-seater just for the young family. It's not a 7-seater, but it's extremely comfortable, plenty of material, good leather, wood, good trim, and the power delivery. Because it's a Porsche, it has to deliver on the performance aspect. So you have a 4.8 liter, you have even a 3.6 liter from the lowest spec, and it just delivers a lot of power, a lot of torque, and it's something that if you love driving and having a good time on road trips, then that's a car for you.
Very nice. And at number one?
Number one, BMW X5 from Munich, Germany, not far away from Stuttgart.
Your face just lit up.
Yes, the X5 has been there for since 1999. It's been there. Americans love it. It's the first BMW that was tailored for the American market,
Right.
because Americans love SUVs. And at that time they were just fresh getting into the market, and people loved it. So they continuously refined the product, meeting the needs of the Americans. And Americans love those huge, big Chevy Suburban SUVs, but that just offered a different perspective. Quality, performance, still a BMW in essence, and of course it has that capacity for you to enjoy the thrill, as it's the ultimate driving machine.
Yeah.
So you have different derivatives across the range. So from the most economical, which now is a 2-liter E with electric hybrid, all the way to the X5M, which is like the pinnacle of performance in SUVs. You have 650 horsepower. 650. That's a lot. I don't know how to give it a context, but it's too much power. 0 to 100 in roughly about 3.5 seconds.
Right.
You've got handling dynamics. It's a big car, but handles extremely well, just like a small BMW. It's comfortable. It's got all the individual mechanisms you can actually tailor make it based on your suits and needs. They have a color that they have. It's called Napa Leather Grey. That color in that car, or ivory. Oh, I'm telling you, X5's amazing vehicle. Brand new will cost you anywhere between 12 million bob to roughly 20, depending on which spec you want.
Right.
And if you're buying it in the used car market, anywhere between 5 and 10 million. Yes.
Wow. That's fancy. I'm trying to pick what would be the ideal birthday gift. But as you mentioned, there were top 5, and there's reasons why you're listing those 5 brands and models.
Correct.
So what are some of the things to look out for when you're talking for that one good one?
Now, choosing an SUV is a very emotive subject, because people look for different things, but generally, the people who look for SUVs are looking for presents.
Right.
So when you're doing your checklist and you're like, I need presents. This is Big Boy Trev. It's my birthday. I want the new year to, portray me as somebody who's made it in life.
Right.
I look for a car that has presents, an SUV. And perhaps if I was used to, say, a Japanese model like the VX or the Patrol, I'd say, listen, why can't I just try something different from Germany? So perhaps I'd look towards BMW X5 or a Porsche.
Right.
Then in between the two, I'd say, okay, between Porsche and BMW, which one suits my preference? I love an engaging drive, so probably I'd do a Porsche. I love presence, and I'll probably do the X5. If I'm that kind of person who buys an SUV for utility purpose, like I want to go to my Shamba in Kisaju, or somewhere where there's a bit of off-roading, then what are my options? So perhaps a Range Rover would make sense, because it has terrain response. Terrain response is a software that makes you an off-road driver without going for off-road classes. So basically the car, maps out the road, the terrain.
Right.
It says, this place looks like it has rocks. So when it has rocks, what do? It goes into the gearbox setting. And this is like a stereo feed, like a live camera. So it talks to the brain of the gearbox, changes the settings for rock and crawl, and adjusts the torque distribution on all 4 wheels to ensure that you have maximum grip. The suspension also. Views, this looks like it's rocky. You need good ride height, so it will raise the car up to a couple of millimeters, and you're able to navigate. So a lot of technology.
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors when you come to that final decision.
Yes.
What's the SUV for me? You listed 5. So guys, we're engaging you. Get on the hashtag Spice Drive. Let us know in case, there's one that missed that list. That's Trev's list. So make sure you follow Spice FMKE on every single platform. We've got a special guest. You have so many friends, and today we're going to be having an interesting conversation here with the CEO of Kibo Africa. We're going to be talking safe and reliable mobility. This is an interesting area. We need to break it down. And we're hanging out with
Big Boy Trev.
Yup. And of course, make sure you get on the hashtag on every single platform. Don't forget to stream spicefm.co.ke. Can you see me? All right. I'm going to get that sorted in a second. We are getting live streaming at the moment. Are we good, Mumbi? So we've got an interesting conversation here. And you mentioned that this guest of ours has a lot of fans who are on the timeline. And I've been seeing some of them talk about how they're super fans. We're talking about safe and reliable mobility. And we're going to be hanging out with the CEO of Kibo Africa. I hope I'm going to say this name right. Hoib van Grispard.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Did I get it right?
Or simply Hybe. Hybe.
Hybe.
Hybe is fantastic.
All right. Welcome to the show, Hybe van Grispard. Did I say your name right? I've been struggling with that.
Awesome. Awesome. That's probably the best I've heard in Kenya. So
Is it the best? Yay! CEO of Kibo Africa, and I've been trying to figure out how to say this name correctly. People get it wrong many times, huh?
You're saying Kibo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Although it sounds like a Kiswahili word in a way, or
yes, it
you
does.
disagree with that?
Yes, it does.
Okay, good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Welcome to the Spice Drive.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm hanging out with Trev. Trev.
Hi, Hybe. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Trev?
Good. It's been a minute, and thank you so much for honoring us and making us part and parcel of your family. So, jumping straight on to the first question, tell us about Kibo Africa and its vision for mobility in Africa.
So, when it comes to mobility in Africa, of course, last mile is always a big challenge in many places, and motorcycles are perfectly geared towards supporting that last mile distribution, whether it's for people or for goods. We see so many things transported on motorcycles in Africa. We all know the crazy pictures of the Boda Boda guys carrying sofas, carrying cows, cattle. I've seen crocodiles. I don't know what I've seen so many things. So that's a very important part of mobility in let's say sub-Saharan Africa. Of course, it comes with a lot of shortcomings as well. We all know about the road safety issues around the Boda Boda industry, and we know about the quality issues with the motorcycles. And I think when we look at it, as Kibo, we want to ensure that we have good, reliable motorcycles on the road that are affordable to as many people as possible, and that can get people and goods to those places where they need to go safely.
Wow, very nice. So how does Kibo view motorbike safety in Kenya? You've mentioned some scenarios, and there's a lot that we see every single time on the news. You get to see, stories not too far from the previous day, especially as we get into the holidays and, a lot of people are listening in. Tell us about your view when it comes to motorbike safety in Kenya.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a very interesting topic. It's actually something that I see as, it's almost cultural in a way. I come from a very different part of the world.
Right.
And if I break it down, I can break it down into two elements roughly. One is everything that relates to the rider and the rider behavior. And then the other part is what relates to the motorcycle, the machine itself, and how it responds. How good the brakes are, how good the tires are, very practical things. Now, what we can do from a Kibo perspective is make sure that people have a good machine. That starts with the design, the engineering, ensuring that it's a machine that's suitable for all the terrain, all the circumstances that we can find here in Kenya and East Africa or all of Africa. Then the second thing is after-sales service, where we can make sure that our customers have bikes that stay in good conditions, because good tires today are not necessarily good tires a year from now. So that's the part that we can do. We would love to do more, because I think what you're talking about is, mostly the behavioral side of things. Very also basic things. You should not be driving opposite traffic, or, you should not be riding at night without lights, or you should not be crossing a highway when it's not supposed to be crossed at that particular place. But those are things that, when you look at how Boda guys operate, they're driven by the financial incentive. So they feel like each and every second of their day counts.
Right.
And if they have to take like a detour to avoid going against traffic, to them that won't make sense. So it's an economical problem at the same time, or it's an economical cause to a road safety problem. Let me say it that way. And it takes a cultural shift, I think, and also a rethinking of the economics behind the Boda Boda system to really start solving these problems. From a Kibo perspective, we try to talk about it as much as we can to create awareness. And also we partner with organizations who do very good rider training that helps the people to understand, okay, if I'm on a bike, I'm actually very vulnerable. That means I should behave in a different type of way than when I'm in a vehicle. Then also, how do you handle the bike very, very properly in all sorts of circumstances? So for us, it's talking, hooking people up with good riding schools, and just creating the awareness. And then, of course, for us, the bike is the centerpiece. So we provide good bikes, availability of parts, availability of service, and we ensure that you're just out there and you're safe.
Wow, fantastic. And I've been seeing a lot of tweets on that. Trev, I know you've got a question.
Yes, I got a question, Hype, for you. Looking forward towards the new year and the new season, what new products are you planning to bring into the country? Or rather, unveil to the country, because they are made here in Kenya?
Yeah, awesome. We plan on bringing a more affordable version of our current K160 bike this year. That is to replace the K150 that we had in the past, which was priced at 199,000 Kenyan shillings. That was our starting model. That was the flagship of the day, but we've outgrown it. Our products have grown, have improved, but we miss a product in that price range right now. So that's the first thing to solve. Then the second thing to solve is an even more affordable bike that's going to range from, let's say, anywhere in between 159 to 179, thereabouts.
Nice.
We want that very passionately because we have good products. We have a very good after-sales network right now. We can really support our customers so well, but our bikes are not affordable to most people in Kenya. I don't think we'll be a mass market brand. I don't see it that way. But there's a lot of informal businesses and also actually quite some Boda Boda guys, SMEs, who are quite serious about their business, and they're actually looking for a bike that is maybe priced a little bit higher.
Right.
But now when you start using it, it's actually a lot more affordable because you're not replacing parts all the time. Your consumption is low. You have good uptime, all those things. So that's going to be the next step. So K160 at a different pricing, and also now probably not this year, but hopefully within 2 years' time, the more affordable Kibo bike.
Wow, fantastic. I like that. And, everyone gets a bike for themselves. So I'm seeing a comment here that I have to read out before we let you go. This one here, as soon as we shared the poster, Obed San said, I've always liked the simplicity and styling of those Kibo bikes. They're amazing. And of course, it's good to hear more about the brand, its durability and warrants, etc. So how can people find you on social media? How can people connect with you even after today's interview?
Well, thanks for that. Very easy. Go on Facebook or Instagram, search for Kibo Motorcycles and you'll find us. Also, we have a website. It's kibo.bike, also very easy. Contact details are there, so feel free.
Yeah.
We're happy to attend to you at any time.
Fantastic. Great chatting with you. I'm learning more and more each time. I love Radio Day with Trev. And of course, thank you so much for joining us. And good stuff you're doing. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure having guests on the show. And of course, whatever you do, don't forget to catch up with whatever you missed. It's all over social media. The hashtag is Spice Drive. And of course, car culture. Trev.
Yes.
Do you ride?
I used to. I do a bit, but I used to. So because of injuries, I try and avoid, but yes, I do once in a while.
Very nice. I've got a fantastic song by Will Smith, Cruising. I think it's perfect. Whenever he spoke about how they're sensitizing a lot of people, even as you ride, let's not blame the brand. Let's also talk about our behavior on the roads.
Yes.
And you know how it is, especially that final hour, that rush hour when people are trying to make it home on time.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of comments and tweets about, guys, it's still the same road. Try the best you can to be home on time, but be cautious. And we've seen a lot of border riders and just riders in general caught up in things they don't want to be caught up in. And today is Thry Day. We're spreading the good vibes. And I managed with that name. Huh? I tried.
I see you.
Keep your comments coming. We've got more coming up, but we want to see who gets to win. Team Blondie going up against Team Cardinal Official and Kerry Hilson. I'm loving the conversations that we're having on here. I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get into it in a moment. Earlier, we were talking about SUVs.
Yes.
So I'm going to get back into that in a moment. But if you were to cast your vote right now, no turning back, one vote, one crown. As you've heard, we've got those two versions. One takes us to the Caribbean, tropical, holidaying, sun and sand. And then the other one just took me back to 2003, 2005, the Gully Creeper era.
Yes.
And, people had belly chains and baggy jeans.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
That kind of time.
I'd go for the old school vibe. You know me, blondie type. And it reminds me of that old program called Tropical Heat.
Oh, my God.
Nick Slaughter.
Everywhere the wind blows.
Correct.
Oh, my.
You could hear the marimbas and things like that on the song. That just takes me back. So it's a classic song.
Oh, my goodness. Very nice. I'm just going through the timeline here just to get a couple of questions. Someone here is talking about the Cayenne being at number one. Wanja Rahab, you're saying, hey, gorgeous. On the record rumble, I vote for Cardinal Official in Kerry Hilson. Just like Sally, she says it's a Thry Day feeling. And you're saying Happy New Month. And Throwback Thursday Jam is Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? That's a very good one. And I'm seeing more coming up. Well, here's the question. Trey Sticks F1 at CBBT_TV. You are very good, Trev, in explaining. What about the Volkswagen SUVs and the Atlas and Tiguan?
All right. So the Tiguan is the smallest version you can get at the moment. It is a soft roader. I won't call it an SUV per se, but it's more of a, it's a soft roader. So you probably categorize it to the likes of the Toyota RAV4, the Nissan X-Trail, the Honda CR-V, that kind. The Atlas is built for the American market, so it's not available in our market, but it is also based on the Touareg. All right, so it's a big one. So speaking about the Touareg, which is the Volkswagen one, so the Touareg is a fantastic vehicle. I mean, it's well built, similar qualities as the Porsche because they share the same platform, they share engines, but it comes with a VW sort of philosophy. They do a lot of simplistic design. They don't overpower you with too much detail, but it's reliable, it's comfortable enough, and of course, it is as capable as any other SUV. So it's a good vehicle.
Fantastic. So Thursday's Radio Day on the Spice Drive and the rest of the week?
Yes, definitely you can catch me tomorrow at the Nairobian. Of course, I have articles that will speak about all matters of motoring. In fact, tomorrow, check out the 5 reasons why you should buy the Ford Everest on tomorrow's Nairobian. On Sunday, which is like the climax, second climax because Radio Day is like the climax.
Yeah.
So Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on KTN Home. Definitely looking forward towards watching CBBT. And this week we're reviewing something amazing from Malaysia. It's called Proton X70. It's a brand new SUV that nobody has driven. So I was lucky enough to just get a feel of it and just show the people what's coming in future. So that's going to be an amazing show. Do not miss. And of course, every Wednesday, Standard Motors. Every Wednesday, I think... we talk about cars as well on the paper, so spread across. You can get us on social media as well, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and you can catch all our live episodes on YouTube at 7 p.m. every Sunday immediately after the show.
Fantastic. It's all about cars. If you fancy cars, you want to learn about cars, you know nothing about cars, you're new in the game, this is the content you need to consume. Thank you so much, Trev, for coming in.
You're welcome anytime.
And And I want you to stick around because we're going to figure out whether your team has won or lost. But before I let you go, I've got one more question. It's today's treadmill topic, and it's all about the enemies of your significant other. Are they automatically your enemies as well?
Allah, definitely.
Really?
Yes, loyalty is everything.
Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
Mkikosana tumekosana. That's how it is. It's
So you're
just-
like, look, nothing personal, but we can't vibe because
Correct.
you and my person are not in good terms.
Yes.
You owe them money or whatever.
Yes.
So that's just, you didn't even think about it.
No. It's straightforward. Like, if you have beef, what do you expect me to do? I mean, the relationship is between the two parties, and I am associated with this party.
Right.
So it's choosing loyalty. So where does your loyalty lie? So if I'm with my people, I'll stick with my people.
Wow. There's no love.